Oh, I got another point here. Very few people live through life without a harsh leader. God uses good ones to nurture us. God uses harsh ones to refine us. They both serve a purpose in God's plan. So, I'm going to go there. So that supervisor that you're having issues with, God is using to refine you. Because only fire refines. I'm going to read it. It's in the book. I ain't writing this in the book. Very few people live through life without a harsh leader. God uses good ones to nurture us, which means to mature us, to grow us, to take us to new heights and new levels. God uses harsh ones to refine us. Refining is a process of getting all the impurities out of you. Can I deal with your impurities? I don't got time. Attitudes and dispositions. That supervisor is refining you to purify the right attitude and disposition in you. They both serve a purpose in God's plan. Good and bad.
You was talking about that. You remember the co-worker I kept talking about when we was at New Bethel?
Right,
at the church. This week, well, last month, she sent me an email. And I was like, oh, this thing going to worm on this thing or what? You know? So I just messed with it. So then yesterday, or whatever day it was, I got another email. I'm like, what in the world's going on here? So I said, well, let me just test the waters. So I emailed her back to let her know that she emailed me. Because she could have emailed me, you know, just tagged me on to somebody. And I emailed her back, and she came back very nice and pleasant. I'm like, oh, God, that was just for me. We went through all that just to buffer me, you know. Years of foolishness. But it worked something out in me, you know. And I was like, wow, God, I guess we're okay now. Everybody can go forward, you know. But years of torment. And then all of a sudden, just like she switched back. I was like, okay, that must be you, God. You know?
Wow.
Oh, goodness.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he uses both good and bad to get us to a certain point in him. And a lot of times we do not look at the harsh leaders as ones who are going to get us to the place that we need to be at. But notice here, by David being kicked out of the palace, he learned how to lead a group of people who everybody else said couldn't be led. The Bible says he got all the rejects, all the misfits. He got the left-handed people. Read it. The Bible said he had left-handed slingshot throwers who was so awesome. He took people who everybody else would say what they have is a disadvantage, but David took them and made them an army. And made them an army that was so bad that the Philistines made a pact with them because they didn't really trust David. That's right. But when you read it, it says he had 5,000 right-handed, he had, I forgot the number, a certain thousand right-handed slingshot throwers and a certain thousand left-handed slingshot throwers. And then he had some other people who were just giant killers. Because Goliath had sons. And when you read about David's army, he had a certain amount of people who just knew how to kill giants. He would have never developed that army, never became a leader, never knew how to face adversity and go through it if he had never been ran out of the kingdom. And by being run out of the kingdom, he developed his character. And God made him the king and the leader that he was. Let's pick it back up. David was concerned that Saul believed he was rebellious and evil. David must have searched his heart, saying, where have I gone wrong? How was Saul's heart turned against me so quickly? That is why he cried out, someone urged me to kill you, but I said no. I only cut off the corner of your robe so that you could know and see that there is neither evil nor rebellion in my hands. And that's found in 1 Samuel 24:11. David thought if he could prove his love for Saul, Saul would restore him to favor and the prophecy would be fulfilled. People who have been rejected by a father or a leader trend to take all the blame on themselves. They are imprisoned by tormenting thoughts of, what did I do? Was my heart impure? There's something, they sometimes wonder who turned the heart of my leader against me. They think that if they could only show their loyalty and value, they would be accepted. Sadly, the more they try, the more rejected they feel.
Wow.
Been there, done that. The more you try to show that I'm trying to be on your side, the worse it gets. And you're wondering in your mind, what is the problem? The problem is two things. One, offense has come in, but two, God is trying to work something in you. And so you have to look at it, as the author says, he says, let me read this, he says, when we really understand that nothing can come into our lives without God allowing it, it really sets you free, because anything you go through, anything, God will use it as a stepping stone for your life if you respond in obedience. And the obedience is, do not get offended. It kind of reminds me of the bird, that when birds are in the nest and the mama bird is trying to teach the baby bird how to fly, they kick them out the nest.
How mean is that?
And it looks like they're going to fall. They're trying to flap their wings, but before they hit the ground, she comes and swoops them back up and puts them back in the nest. But she then kicks them out the nest again, because they only going to learn how to fly under duress and distress. You only going to learn how to fly under arrest, distress, and all them other stresses.
That's wisdom. Wow.
You got to recognize that sometimes what is happening is in God's will. And I remember when I did get demoted, I told my wife, "This is just this is perfect. This is just setting me up to move out like I need to move." And if we didn't take it, at least I tried not to take it as offense. Yeah, she was up. And I told her, "No, baby, it's just set."